All right. Shelf life 50. This is like my fifth take. Hot tea is the way to go if you need to do any kind of talking to the camera or presenting. Oh, I felt all super nasally talking before, like I was in my nose. No good. I went upstairs, made some tea. That's better. Whew. Guys, we got a lot to talk about. This episode is going to be super chill. We're going to kind of go all over the place. I have my notes, but I don't want to get locked up and have like a big span of time. I like doing weekly shows, or what is this, 10 days since the last one. So, give you guys some updates. I got some new books. I got some projects happening. I got some reading plans that are going to get skirted and moved around. I'm kind of in between books right now, which is fun. Like, how do I pick where I'm going from here? And we finished Thomas Pynchon's latest Shadow Ticket, and we'll be talking about that. But just give me a second here to go over my notes. I've been feeling good lately. I've been calming down with working so much overtime, and I've been, probably because I read so much, considering my own mortality and what my time is worth and value, and where I want to put my attention. So, yeah, a lot of changes. I've been strength training again. That's been fun. I've been running at a much slower pace, practically power hiking, and that's just been like permission to have fun, and it's very refreshing. I needed it. But the tea, amazing. Let's see. I'm going to start with a couple little quick snippets. I can't DNF a book. I don't know why I can't DNF a book. I was thinking about this. Some people can just, I'm not interested in that. That would bother me to the point where I would rather read a book and finish it and be like, that book wasn't very good, than DNF it and like I can't be cool with that, because I'm like, well, maybe I didn't give it a chance. You know, like it will always haunt me that it's just like this looming over my head. I didn't finish that book. So I'm very choosy on where I start books. That's probably not a wise thing to do now that I said it out loud. But yeah, since I started really reading fiction more, like since I did Infinite Jest years ago and began this deeper literary journey, I can't like not finish them. Like I'll say that I'm halfway through, or I'm still working through them, or I'll restart them, but they're all works in progress. There are no like DNFs. I'll save that other part. I'll save that part for later. Let's see. Let's just talk about, I'm going over all my notes here for this. Yeah. I guess that is what we're going to be talking about. Huh. Let's see. What do I have here? Oh, I got some recent book purchases. Excuse me. I'd planned on reading this originally, and then in November, December, I was going to read Brothers K. That's not going to work out. That's too heavy right now. I don't think I can handle it, but I was invited to do a read with a couple of people of Thomas Pynchon's Mason and Dixon. And after doing Shadow Ticket and experiencing Gravity's Rainbow, Vineland, and what else? Fort 49. I've tried multiple different approaches to understanding Mr. Pynchon's work. And kind of sideswiped into this is what the plan is going to be, but I'm excited for it. And it's in line with my reading projects. All of Pynchon is one of my projects. So and I've never had a companion piece of like a physical media companion book. It's always been either AI or the wiki page or something online, or I've never had another book to read a book. So but since I've crossed Thomas before and he can be tricky, we're going to give it a real go. And this is also not going to be a rushed read. Gravity's Rainbow wound up being a 3-month read, not on purpose. And this one will be a 3-month plus, I think, on purpose. So it's like planned to give it its due. So I'm excited about that. But man, that's a lot of Pynchon in a year. That wasn't planning on it, but oh well. I also picked up East of Eden, John Steinbeck. It is also on my to be read before death list. I'm going to do this as a buddy read also, probably in January, around January, beginning of the year. Yeah, I'm very excited for this one. Might as well talk about it now. Deckled Edges. How do we feel about Deckled Edges? Maybe I'll give my opinion about that next week, but it's like I feel like recently in the past month or so, a lot of the books I've been picking up have been Deckled Edges. Where was another one? I just saw another one. Was it Christina Stead? No. Here it is. Golden Notebook, Deckled Edges, Steinbeck, East of Eden, Deckled Edges, Ayn Rand, Atlas Shrugged, Deckled Edges. I don't know how I feel about Deckled Edges. They're kind of a pain, but they look nice. So I bought 2 of these. The other one will be a gift. So that was fun. That's the most recent book mail. What else do I have to chat before we get into Shadow Ticket? Not rushing. Yeah, gearing up with grabbing this guy. Gearing up in my approach. I just don't want to jump in and jump out once I start talking about Shadow Ticket. Oh, and it's funny because it's like I've worked kind of hard to, like, since Schadenfreude, it's like I got everything out of the way to clear the calendar to just read Schadenfreude. It's like 1,000 pages in a month, which was awesome. That was so much fun. I really had a good time doing that. But that was one book. I put everything else aside. And since then, I've been doing that, and it has not been working. But in the future, I just see, like, multiple books at once happening. Like, it was, like, very not crowded, and I could slowly chip away at things. And that was kind of nice. Breather room, maybe a slump. I can't tell if it was a slump or a break. But there was less diverse reading. But now I see, like, on the horizon, Mason and Dixon, with East of Eden, with other books that I'm not DNFing. So it's just going to be a lot to juggle, and I'm excited about it. And let's add another one to it. I just ordered probably 15 minutes ago before I started filming this. Let's see if I can pronounce this right. Faust by Goethe. I'm not going to butcher it beyond that. But my wife, strangely, she was in a class with some friends, and the professor recommended, I forget what it was exactly, but the professor, whoever was teaching the class, recommended to her some Nietzsche and Faust specifically. And I looked at her, I'm like, oh, those are on my lists. So do you want to do a buddy read? And we went to Barnes & Noble's the other day. We got my son a nice book about animals. He's into bears right now. It's fun. But couldn't find Faust there. It was not there. Something else by Goethe was there. But if I saw him, I knew I was in the right section. It wasn't there. So I ordered 2 of them to do another buddy read with my wife, and then we'll just slowly chip away at that. But multiple books at once. It's fun. But yes, the multiple books I'm seeing are coming up shortly. But that all ended when I read Shadow Ticket. Okay, let's start talking about Shadow Ticket. I don't care how long this video is. There's no standard time. I'll get to everything when I get to everything. I still want to talk about those books up there. Because again, all these stacked books and plans begin in December. And it's mid-November, right? Right, what is it? 11/11. Veterans Day. Happy Veterans Day. Thank you. Okay, moving on. I think we can talk about Shadow Ticket now. Let's talk about Shadow Ticket. I finally put the stupid cover back on. I am not thrilled. Like, here is my character map that I thought was going to be very helpful, and then I just gave up on it a third of the way through. I'm like, I'm completely lost. This is not helping, but here we go. We got the dust jacket back on so I can look prestigious for some reason. I hate hardcovers. Specifically after this book, I hate hardcovers. Ugh, no thanks. I found a jumble of notes. I didn't even go through and organize my thoughts when I was excited for Schadenfreude, when I was excited for Solenoid. I did like a review of those. It's like okay. This is hard. This is hard because I love Pynchon. I love being a fan of Pynchon. I love the paranoia and the psychopathy that's associated with his writing. I like the whole mystique and mystery around him. I think it's fun. This was not that. Like, this was kind of like rambling, and I don't know. I think I was very disappointed. It's kind of like if Disney got a hold of what Pynchon was supposed to be. This is what it feels like. This feels like a Disneyfied version of Pynchon. I did not care for it. There were things that I did like, but it felt like have you guys ever had like a distraction dream where in your dream we're gonna go on the roller coaster, or we're gonna go get ready to climb the mountain. Everyone get ready to go over here and we're gonna do this awesome thing, right? Follow? But before we all head up together to do that, I gotta find that one shoe. So now your entire dream is you're looking frantically in a house for that one shoe, where the whole dream you want to get to the point where you can have the dream on the mountain, but your whole dream in reality is going to be like looking for this shoe. Terrible. That's what I felt like this book was like. And it was such a slog. I didn't understand why the pacing was so slow. I just finished Schadenfreude. That was a big, chunky book. 1,000 pages. Cool. And I'm pacing through and I'm following. I think I'm doing well. This was like trudging through the mud. This was like mud bogging. And I wrote that down. Another relevant way to think of Pynchon, I did a video where Pynchon is a large caliber kind of an author. This felt like Pynchon is the sport of mud bogging, right? And Gravity's Rainbow is like one of those awesome times where you see like an awesome truck flying into the mud. You don't think that this thing is going to be able to escape. It's going to be swallowed. And by some miracle and rule of physics, it triumphantly just like right through the muck. Awesome. It's just glorious, right? That's what Gravity's Rainbow was. And then there are other trucks that are underpowered and you see them line up and you're like, maybe we could do it. And then it just, as soon as it touches the mud, it just, like, that's what this felt like. But it was also like, good for you, man. I am very proud of you for getting your little truck out here. You lined up, you got in the mud. Good on you. Thank you, Thomas Pynchon. Like, I can't hate on the guy for writing. Like, how old is he? 88, 90 years old? I don't know. He gets a pass. I haven't read all of his stuff, and I don't think I am also super smart enough to understand Gravity's Rainbow, to understand Vineland, to understand Crying of Lot 49. These will all require rereads. Same thing with Shadow Ticket. I'm giving it the benefit of the doubt that I'm not smart enough to have picked up on everything. Like my own flaw is being taken into account here. So this is my opinion on what my experience was. So like if you got something else out of it and you loved it and awesome, like that's great. For me, I have to be honest. This was just not it. Like this, and I don't want to slam it. I don't want to say it was bad, but I was dreading finishing this. I don't know, probably 2/3 I just stopped underlining. I stopped paying attention. Not stopped paying attention, but it was just like the short chapters. I can really enjoy short chapters, but I don't know. You can get into a rhythm with Pynchon, like you can get into a flow, and this felt so choppy and like it felt like his first time driving a stick shift. Like not fun, but the fun parts were there. There were definitely like if it was like a Weird Al version, like it just felt fake, man. It's hard. It's hard to put it in any other positive context. I did like the Milwaukee Harley Davidson references. I like the motorcycle racing around out in Europe. That was fun. That felt very like a mix between Hunter S. Thompson wackiness with the later ends of Clockwork Orange, Stanley Kubrick. Like it was very cinematic, and it had that. I don't know what noir means, but like when I think of the word, I think of the cover of the European edition. Also, the European cover far superior than what we got here in America. This is ugly. Like I like the background, but like this compared to what I've seen in the UK, this is atrocious. Poor choice. Where was I? Where'd it go? There we go. I did like that. But I don't know. I thought we were going to have another. When I saw the submarines, I'm like, oh man, we're gonna have another boat scene. But that did not happen either, and it kind of makes me apprehensive to get into his later works like Inherent Vice, Against the Day. I don't know. I'm excited for Mason and Dixon. I am. I've heard that this is another banger, and I don't know that there's a handful of duds, and I would definitely, because this is new, it hasn't really, the verdict isn't out on this yet, but this is definitely my first Pynchon dud. Like, maybe one day I'll probably come back and reread it, but there it is. There's my startling. I feel bad. I feel so bad. But you know what? I was thinking about this. I felt bad about saying anything negative. It's not necessarily negative, is it? And Thomas is so revered that I think he can take what I'm saying here. Like it's no hate on Thomas, but just I'm not a fan. Like average at best for. I don't know. It was a detective story. It wasn't like the. This felt like an airport book. Enough. Anyways, I'm sick of looking at it. Now I'm in limbo of like November. Where are we going to go from here? And this is the fun part of like the next week or two. What I was saying before is I could now pick up where I left off on things that I have unfinished. For example, Nicomachean Ethics. I think I'm going to finish this before the end of December. The big one that I started waiting for Shadow Ticket to arrive, and I don't know, I was just kind of waiting around, but everyone hates that this was on my shelf. Atlas Shrugged. And after reading Schadenfreude, which was dense and like you got to think, this was this is so easy to read. Like this is kind of like, and I understand the politics and what everyone's so upset about, but I have to see it for myself, and I'm going to report on what reading this is like so far. And I'm only at a sneeze of the way in. I'm on page 172, and this is another cinematic book out of 1164. I think it's 1168. Doesn't matter. This is like if Alex Jones wrote Lassie episodes. It has that like old Hollywood TV, but it's like about industry and railroads and manufacturing processes. And I'm in that industry, so that's fun to hear about, and it's fun to see it romanticized so much. But now that I've got a taste for Rand, it's like this is stomachable. But I'm just reading it like a straight story. It feels so Hollywood. And here's another thing, Deckle Edges, but I like the flop. Like this is pleasant to read. We're back to paperback, and it's a chunky boy. But I don't know if I could finish this by the end of the month. It's easy to read, but I think I was doing the math before I filmed this. It would have to be like 52 pages a day to finish it before starting Mason and Dixon. So I don't know. I'm reading that, but also I could say no to all that, and I could just get some palate cleansers, and I might just do that. And I picked out a couple ones that would be palate cleansers. Last Exit to Brooklyn. I could finish this by December. This has been on my to be read list for a very long time, for a number of reasons. Heart Crane, The Bridge. I don't know why. This looks like the margins and everything are on my side, and I don't know too much about it. Poetic. Highly recommended, and I think I could slam that relatively quick. And, of course, Clarice, Aquaviva, before December. So I'm thinking, because like, let's get some practice in with reading a whole bunch of books at once. But, yeah, guys, I'm kind of all over the place. Like and subscribe. That helps a whole bunch. Keep reading. I don't know what I'm looking for. I just have a whole bunch of stuff all over the place. Per usual. Anything else? Any other books down here? Nope. Guys, appreciate your patience. The silence. Let it wash over you. I'll talk to you later this week. Let me know if you have any questions, if you have any recommendations. What do you think your favorite Thomas Pynchon is? I don't know. Later.